This is one of my favorite Tai Chi movements. It's called in Chinese, Lou Xi Ao Bu, which translates into English as hug the knee in a twisted step. Hug the knee in a twisted step. It's one of my favorite movements. And why don't you come out of your chair and join me here and we'll do it together. I'll teach you how to do this with a little bit of a breakdown. So start like this, just facing me with your feet about shoulder width apart, hands relaxed by your sides. And we'll do a preparatory movement, which we call sinking the chi. The arms float out to the outside. And then when they reach about shoulder height, they round in, the palms facing the body, pull right into the center and press down into the earth. Just like that. One more time. Breathe in as you float up. Gather in and breathe out as it goes down. I like the big sigh. I always do that. One more time. Sinking the chi, the energy of life, the chi that flows through you. Bring it into the body, sink it down. Perfect. Now let the hands float up. And what I want you to do is to reach into your corner and step on in. Perfect. Now, just melt. So I'm just melting, letting my body float down and then rise back up again, melt down, just sort of wakening up all of the joints of the body here. The hands just floating. We'll get to them in a second. Just rise and fall. Also with the breath, you can do that again. I love the sigh. Big sighs are a favorite of mine. Okay, now we're going to add in this hand to push down as you melt down, and then float back up again as you rise up. Press down, float up, just like that. And breathing out and breathing in. Good, we're gonna add this hand in. It's gonna fold in. Fingertips almost to the cheek, and then rise out again. Melt down, fold in, and out. One more time. Looking pretty good. Let's do one more. Good, now we're gonna add both of them together. So the two hands, one pushes down, one folds in, along with the melting. Push down, fold in. Taking your time, again, just finding your rhythm here. This gives us a chance to just sort of get all the body parts, all the different pieces of this movement broken down so that we can feel comfortable with it. On the next one, though, we're going to step right out to the side here into a bit of a lunge position. Circle around and push, this hand pushing here. Let's just rewind that and do that part again. So this hand is going to press down, and here is the hug the knee part. As you go forward, it hugs around the knee like that, so close. This hand pushing. And when you finish in this lunge position, we call it a twisted step, Ao Bu, because the hips are turned all the way around, squared off for this push. Right? Now, stay with me as this hand drops, circles around. This hand rises up over the top. And once again, you're reaching into your corner. And then back to the circle again. Press down, fold in, hug the knee, and push. Right? Drop, up, over the top, circle all the way around. Press down, fold in, shift forward and push. And we'll just kind of smooth off some of those rough corners, circling, weaving, spiraling around. Breathing in, here's the breath. And breathing out, and big sigh if you want to. Good, one more time. Now let's do the other side. So stay with me as you shift the weight on back, and then let this hand just sort of float across the room as if you were wiping the slate clean. back over here to this side, step on in and reach into your other corner. And once again, melt. We'll just do the same thing on the other side. Float back up, melting down, floating back up. This hand pushing down, just like before. The short arm pushes down. The long arm folds in. One more time. The reason why we break all this down, let's put the two together, is so that we can feel really comfortable, really easy, really smooth, right, with all this practice. One more time. And then we're going to step right into the side here, again into that lunge, hug the knee, and push. Then this hand, drop. The other one up and over the top, turning and circling right into your corner. Hug the knee and push. Breathing in as you circle around. Breathing out as you push it out. Very nice. One more, and then let's do the other side again. Excellent. Now stay with me. Sit on back, float across the room. Then stepping back over to this side, the hands reach into your corner as you step on in. One time, let's melt on down, and then step into your corner. Now, as you go through these movements, we're practicing martial arts techniques, right? Even though it looks so soft and gentle, this is still a self-defense. So this hand pressing down is a block, is a protection of the groin area. And then if somebody was kicking you here, you might catch their foot and push it out of the way. And that would set up a position where they'd be a little bit off balance. And so the pushing hand comes forward to take advantage of that imbalance to push them off. Right? Taking the weight all the way to the back. You might assume that you're getting closer here. You see that's the advance of your weight shift back and forth. I'm getting closer. They're off balance. Here's my push. Here's my commitment with the twisting of the step. One more time. We'll do one more to this side, and then we'll turn around to the other side again. Nice. Sit on back, float across the room, back over to this side, reach into the corner, step on in. One time, melting down. Here we go. We're going to step right out to the side here and push. The technique of Tai Chi, the martial aspect of the tactics of Tai Chi is really about the exertion of leverage. Finding yourself in a position where you don't have to use strength, but your leverage would be enough to send your opponent off balance. So here I am, protecting, catching, unbalancing them, and then taking advantage of this with a softish push. One more time, sit on back, hug the knee, and push and rest. Very nice, beautiful. Lo Shi Ao Bu, hugging the knee in a twisted step. Looks soft and beautiful, but it's still a martial arts technique. It's one of my favorites in this routine, and maybe it'll become one of yours too. When you compare Tai Chi to other martial arts, it seems unusual. Many people ask me, how do you make Tai Chi a martial art? Do you have to speed it up? Do you have to add more force or strength to it? In fact, Tai Chi is supposed to be a different kind of martial art. And to understand why it's a different kind of martial art, you have to understand the principle of Tai Chi known as softness overcomes hardness. When you watch Tai Chi being performed, when we do it together, the object is to make your body softer. That's part of the slowing down of the movements, to notice the amount of tension in your body so that you can let that go more and more and more. And in doing so, you begin to discover something inside your body which we call continuity, which we call connectedness, or in a single word, flow. In Chinese, this is a term called xiangliang buduan, continuous action without interruption, continuous action without break. So when you watch Tai Chi being performed, when you learn how to do the movements of Tai Chi, there are no breaks, there are no stoppings when I get to the end of a punch. It not only finishes here, but it immediately goes back to the other direction. And the cycle of this is the cycle of yin and yang, a very basic concept inside of Chinese culture. Now, this brings us to another aspect of Tai Chi as a martial art, because as we're talking about in this whole program, the martial arts are not only a physical exercise, they're a philosophical, a mental, an emotional, if you will, exercise as well. Yin and yang means that the whole universe is revolving around, changing from one aspect to another, changing from hard to soft, from light to dark, from extension to withdrawal. And in doing so, we follow the rhythms of the universe. And so, as a martial art, I'm trying to follow the rhythms of the universe, and the rhythms in particular of my opponent. This movement that we just learned together, brush the knee, hug the knee in a twisted step, is a practice, an anticipation, an alternation yin and yang between action and reaction, between leading and following, between technique and transition. Over and over again, this is the rhythm of the universe, but this is also the style of fighting that we use in Tai Chi. So we're not going to try to speed it up. We're not going to try to make it stronger or harder. We're going to let it be soft. We're going to let it be smooth. We're going to engage in the dance with our imaginary opponent. And in doing so, learn just the right moment to exert our leverage. As we talked about a moment ago, exerting leverage is the basic technique. Right here, I'm exerting leverage. And right here, but is it the right moment? I don't know. There's the right moment because I've been following. When you are practicing Tai Chi in this way, it will actually bring a new aspect to martial arts overall. Even if you study a different style of martial arts, the practice of being in flow, of following your opponent, will add something to your abilities as a martial artist in any style. There have been many, many times when students of mine have been studying other styles of martial arts, have come to do Tai Chi with me, and then gone back to their original teacher, and their teacher says, I don't know what you've been doing, but your karate, your taekwondo is so much smoother and so much stronger. And so Tai Chi is a great complement to any style of martial art. Traditionally, Tai Chi has several different specific kinds of exercises to practice all the aspects of this martial art, both the fighting aspect, the energetic aspect, and also this aspect that we just talked about. It's very important, what we call flow, xiangyan buduan, continuous action without interruption. This aspect is very important because when we get into the fighting style of Tai Chi, we want to be up close and personal with our opponent, such that we can tell everything that they're thinking and doing in a heartbeat without having to stop and think about it. So flow, continuous action, is an important concept. In order to do this, Tai Chi traditionally practices routines, forms, the long choreographed dances, which you may know about. What I thought we should do right now is practice this a little bit together in a style that I teach called Tai Chi Fit Flow. It's very easy to follow because there's no set routine. You can just do what you see. And if I happen to go one way and you go another way, don't worry about it because it's not important what it looks like. The important thing is the feeling of flow. So let's start together. If you haven't already done so, get up out of your chair and join me here. We'll start with the feet together, hands relaxed by your sides. Another nice deep breath can get us into it. Breathe in. Big sigh is good. Breathe out. And we begin with a movement we call sinking the chi. Your arms float out to the outside, then gather into the center, press down into the earth. Theoretically, the arms are floating up to gather in the energy from all around you, marshaling the energy, the life force within you, and sinking and guiding it down through your whole body. One more time. Breathe in, sinking the chi. Beautiful. Now, stay with me. One foot steps out to the side, and it doesn't matter which foot you step with, about shoulder width, and center. In front, the hands drift up, not too high, about chest high, and then melt, just like we did with brushing the knee in a twisted step. floating back up. And this movement is called opening the door, the commencement, the start of our journey. Breathe in and float. Breathe out and melt. Letting go, surrendering into the earth. Now this time, as you float up, let the arms round out like you're giving a big hug. Inhale and open them apart. And with this hand on top, catch a big round ball right in front of your chest while you melt down. Breathe in. This hand on top. Breathe out. The ball is thought of as the moon, really. And so we call this embracing the moon. The moon is an image of the yin energy of the universe. And so as we practice Tai Chi, we make this shape deliberately to go from expansion, the yang, to contraction, the yin. Right? The bright rays of the sun, the shimmering moon. Beautiful. Now, the fingertips float back together and pull right into the center. And then you're going to step out into your corner to a little bit of a lunge and drift on out into space with a push. Let it draw back in, pulling and pushing. And once again, the breath is doing all the work. The breath is matching the movements, breathing out as you go out, breathing in as you come in. Beautiful. One more time. Now stay with me, because we're going to step back to the center and then do the other corner. Pulling back in, step in, and nice and easy step out to your other corner and push. Drifting out, drifting back. Nice and easy, just finding your rhythm, finding your flow. Getting out of your head. One more time. Now stay with me, because we're going to step back into the center again. So come back in and big hug for everyone in your family. Breathe in and open. Breathe out. Hands flatten, float down, and we go back to the beginning, sinking the chi. Hands float up. Draw in. Press down. Hands drift up in front again, round out and open. And then this hand scoops under as you step in and catch the moon once again. Stepping out to the side in a little lunge here, use the back of your arm to push open a curtain as though you were looking out the window. Roll that on back and catch the moon again. Shifting forward, push the curtain aside. Breathe in to roll back. Breathe out to open the curtain. And the only secret here is we're just not stopping. Just keep on flowing. Keep on moving. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out. Now stay with me, because this hand here is going to reach forward and run your fingers down the curtain and then put it up on the shelf in the closet. Fold it up. Squeeze it forward. Breathe in, come on back. Breathe out and push. And then stay with me as you sit on back. Turn to the front here, turn towards me and open up the heart. Back over here on this side, scoop on in and step on in. And stepping on out, use the back of the arm to push the curtain open on this side. Now, I said before that part of the martial aspect of Tai Chi is to be up close and personal with your opponent, to be able to hear and see and feel everything that they're doing so that you're always one step ahead. For this reason, you might think of Tai Chi as a close-in martial art, more similar to Judo and Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido than perhaps to Karate or Taekwondo, where the stances are farther away. I'm withdrawing and advancing in such a way that I am waiting for just the right moment to reach forward, take advantage of my opponent's position, toss away right here, following their movements around, and at just the right time take advantage and exert leverage. Breathe in, breathe out. Very nice. Sit on back and open up the heart. Open, 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 open. Back over here on this side, step on in, scoop on in. Let's do this one more time. Step on out the back of the hand, pushing the curtain aside. Reach through, slide your fingers down, put the curtain up way in the shelf, fold it up, squeeze forward, bring it on back, push it through, and one more time, come on back, open up the heart right to the center, step into the center, and big hug again. Inhale and open, and back to the beginning, sinking the chi. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice. Now stay with me and just shift the weight side to side. Something I call tick-tock, right? Like a clock, just tick-tock. As I shift over to this side, this foot will come out and the heel just lightly taps the ground. Then back in and over, heel touches the ground. But the movements keep on going. There's no break in the motion here, so it is continuous, it's flowing. Step over, beautiful. As this heel comes down, this hand floats above the foot. And then other side. Heel down, hand above the foot. Beautiful. Tick-tock. Heel down, hand above the foot, the other hand above the knee. And then change, hand above the foot, other hand above the knee. And we create a new movement called Shouhui Pipa, which means to play the guitar. It's kind of hard to translate that. Pipa, it's like a lute of guitar. Or we could just say it like this. Big circle, small circle. One more time, big circle, small circle. Beautiful. One more time, and then stay with me as this hand drops, circles around, hatching the moon one more time. Then take this hand one more away and toss the moon right out the window. Breathe in, breathe out, just toss away. One more time. Good, now we're gonna add this hand back in again. Now you notice how soft and gentle all these movements look. And yet there's still a martial art because each one of these movements has a self-defense aspect. You ready? Let's go back to play the pipa. Step in. And one more time. Shouhui pipa. Big circle. Small circle. Let me get a little bit more specific about how we use this as a martial arts training. This hand circles around, catch the moon, take this hand away. I am alternating in a pattern of yin and yang. And that pattern of yin and yang, as I said, can be thought of as transition, technique, or following, then leading, or reaction, then action. Let's add this hand back in, shall we? Catch the moon, toss away. When I'm fighting, using Tai Chi style, I want to listen, I want to follow, I want to wait, like playing a chess game until just the right moment for my action. Breathe in, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There's my moment of leverage. Okay, come on back. Big circle, small circle, one more time. Big circle, Small circle. One more time. Excellent. Circle this hand around. This time, step on in. Then stepping on out to your corner in a lunge, toss the moon away. Roll it on back. And the only secret is it just doesn't stop. You just find the flow. Nice. And let's step on back in and bring it to the center, hugging the big tree. Breathe in. Breathe out. And back to the beginning, sinking the chi. It's familiar now, isn't it? You find the flow in movements that feel comfortable. Big hug. Inhale and open. Then this hand drops and floats past your body. And then the two hands change position and like wispy clouds drift across the sky. In fact, this movement is called Yun Shou, which means the hands are clouds. Floating, drifting. One more time, breathing in, breathing out. Nice, stay with me, I'm gonna add one more little piece here. As I drift over to the side, this hand will turn over and make a hook. And this hand will float up and across, open, 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 palm turns out. And I always give a little sigh right here. What I call a sweet spot. Release the hook, let this float down and drift. The cloud hands. Then in this corner here, this hand makes a hook. And open, 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 open. We call this the single whip, the solitary whip. Release the hook. Two clouds. And then step on in, step on out, open, single whip. Let's add another one, a double whip. One more, breathe in, breathe out, and then stay with me as you sit on back and bring it right back to the center. Step on in and hug the big tree. The hands flatten and float down, and the feet come back together. And that's a moment of flow. That's how we practice Tai Chi. Tai Chi actually has a lot of different principles and characteristics, way too many for us to cover in this episode. But the one characteristic that we have covered in this episode, the characteristic and principle of flow, is the most important one. Flow is such an important principle that if you don't have flow, then whatever you might be doing is not Tai Chi. Your movements could be soft, they could be slow, they could have an aspect of connectedness, but if they're not flowing, they're not yet Tai Chi. That is the most distinguishing characteristic of Tai Chi. And so that's why it's important for us to practice it. There's a basic concept that I teach to all of my students, which goes like this. We get best at what we practice most, and we get worst at what we practice least. So the more that you practice flow, the better you get at it. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be something nice and simple, like hugging the knee and pushing, and just repeating this one movement over and over again, not worrying about how it looks, but simply getting the feeling of the flow inside your body. Now, flow is a principle that is more than just physical, more than just external. It's also internal. It's how the energy moves on the inside. It's how your emotions move. It's how your thoughts move. And if you're not flowing emotionally or thinking-wise or physically, then there's usually one specific reason, and it's called tension. In ancient Tai Chi tradition, we say wherever there is tension, the chi stops flowing, the body stops flowing, the thoughts, the emotions stop flowing, they get stuck, they get bound up. And so to get out of tension, we practice this. We practice this principle through our dances, through our forms. And we also practice this principle in the interactive versions of Tai Chi. And that's important because as a martial art, you can imagine that if there was tension, if there was a loss of flow, you would not be able to take advantage of those golden moments to exert your leverage. Your martial arts would not work, literally, right? It slows you down when there's too much tension like this. So you want to release the tension. You want to relax. You want to make sure that your Tai Chi flows. And that's how it's better as a mental art, an emotional art, and a martial art.